You know, I love you guys because you care for others. And I truly think, and that's my hope, is that we can all be that way in some form or another. You know, I've been blessed, but cursed with being in places like Standing Rock and seeing what can really happen to everybody. Being blasted with rubber bullets, little kids getting their faces chomped by dogs, having stuff go in my lungs, being hit with the rubber bullet, or things like that, in the name of money, you know, and it's not very cool. You know, and these words are true words. You know, I've been down here when they were excavating through cremation sites and the bones of my people, and you know what? We stopped the wall more than anybody across Turtle Island because we were smart and we went and prayed, and it just happened that way. And these are the things that you younger people can do, you know, totally. You know, I've been in the fight for lithium, you know, where they drill down and core and punch your water systems, and they have to clean it with sulfuric acid. And you know, water travels everywhere under the ground. You know what? And we need no more poison in our water. I'm talking about water, and you younger people hear this. One time I was traveling, walking for Mother Earth in the beach. And it was about 108 degrees, and I was walking by the Colorado River, and something told me, I was smelling it, it was hot. It was telling me, Bobby, you have to run with the sun. From Maine and Canada to this corner over here, and do a prayer for water. And I got the right people that wanted to do it, and we did it. We ran and prayed for water all across Turtle Island. We went over every major waterway. Yeah, every waterway. We went over every major waterway and prayed to it. And people gave us little bits of water along the way. And we were able to pour it out here in the Pacific to its sister. You know, you younger people, you can do things like that too, really, because the sky is your limit. You know, it is. You can do many, many great things. You know, we have one of my friends, his name's David, and he can't be here today because of a family emergency, but he's a native, Tongva. He works at Southwestern College. We started doing prayer circles for the Indigenous students, but not only Indigenous students, but the community also. Because in these times where there's internet or where there's these things that just bring people down, we need to bring people in and say, hey man, it's okay. Come and be with us for a moment in time and get yourself right here. And that's what we do every couple of weeks. We have a group and let the people express themselves and let themselves feel better about themselves inside and their fire and those around them. You know, talk a little bit more about water. I've been blessed to work with Mayor Paloma Aguirre down here in Imperial Beach. And, you know, to get 7 of the local bands right here, Kumeyaay bands, to sign a resolution in support for cleaning that stuff up, because that stuff keeps going more north, it's going inside the harbor, it's going up the beach, it's nasty. And you women power, I wouldn't go in that water any further south because it will hurt you inside. You know, I know we've been successful. There's monies coming in to help with that. And I want to give a big shout out to Paloma Gary for working so hard to clean up this mess here in San Diego. Can you guys give her a big hand? You know, warrior status, Antonio Guerra, you know, it's pretty awesome. It's something that I can look at and something I can feed into my fire because it's badass. And sorry if anybody takes offense to that, but it is badass. I'm glad to see the veterans here. Veterans, warrior status. Let's give them a big hand. Let's give a big hand to our Clinket brother, Todd Gloria, Mayor Gloria. And a big shout out to everybody here today because you took your time. You could have been sitting down watching something, or you could have been doing something else. So I care for each and every one of you. I hope you get through these times in a good way. Much love and respect, and I'll turn it back over to Eric. Thank you guys for letting me speak to you. Love you.
You go, Bobby!
Woo.
Woo!
All right, Eric, where you at?
He's one of my professors.
So we're waiting for Eric, and I got a little joke for you.
We're the last families here.
So this was taught to me by the late Mr. Dennis Banks. So a skeleton walks into a bar and orders a beer and a Coke. Nobody gets it. It's hollow. It just goes through. I know it's dry. All right, Eric, thank you.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Bobby Wallace, yes. He's one of our young activists that's out here sharing the culture and the word with everybody that wants to hear. You know, the nature of this event is to show tourists, outside people, what's going on Indian country and what the history is of our community. We could tell these stories on the reservation, but everybody already knows these stories on the reservation. So that's why we're doing this. We're sharing this with people that may not know. I had people a couple years ago come up and say, we didn't know there was Indians anymore. We thought they were only in history books. And I hear that so often. So this provides us with an opportunity to do that. So now I'd like to call up a representative from the Cahuilla tribe. Will Madrigal is a teacher and educator. He also does music. He also tells jokes. But he's going to come up and share some histories, stories from the Cahuilla point of view. Now, as far as Native American geography is, we're in Kumeyaay territory here. If you go north of us, you get a split between, you get the Liseño people that are on the western side, and then a little bit further north is the Cupeño people, and a little bit north of them is Cahuilla, and Cahuilla is not just north of them, but also to the west and to the east of them. Cahuilla is a huge, huge nation. So this is Will Madrigal. He'll be coming up and sharing some educational stories about stuff, because he teaches up at, I'll let him tell you all about that.
Achima, Uncle Eric, thank you for giving me some time. Miyakwe Omo Emin, Nenetel Will Madrigal Jr., Nehen Kutanga Cahuilla, Nehen Payom Kowish, Ne Achai Pishintechwa Ipa Iva, Bempalawatame Iva. So what I said was, thank you for being here. I introduced myself, I introduced my clan. The Nakuta Kiktam clan it's like a big family, an extended family. And traditionally indigenous people of the land, we introduce ourselves in that manner. And I mentioned that I am Cahuilla, and I'm also Payom Kowish or Liseño. and I was born and raised on the Kauai Indian Reservation. I currently live on the Palmer Indian Reservation here in North County with my wife and my 2 boys. And I'm an educator. My specialty is Native American history and indigenous archaeology, specifically California. And I'm currently teaching the Kauai language series at UC Riverside. And I'm finishing up a doctorate in Native American studies there. And I've been coming to this event for many years. It's great to see how much it's grown. It's great to see people coming through, local people, tourists coming through and stopping at the booths here and having conversations with California Indians and folks like myself who just want to share our history, just want to share a little bit about our culture, because it is the history of this place. If you live anywhere in San Diego County, you live on indigenous land. You live next to Native people, even if you don't know it. And those people are very vibrant people. We practice our culture, our songs, our stories. We gather together throughout the year, and we celebrate the fact that we're still here. In K through 12 education, very seldom do you hear about California Indians other than they were once here. Now they're gone, right? That's what I was told growing up in my elementary school. And it was devastating to me and to my family because we were not gone. We were still here. We lived on the reservations. Some of us live off the reservation. And we continue to speak our language, sing our songs, share our traditions, not only within our community, but even outside of our community. So I thought that has to change. That has to, because it's very demeaning to us as Native people, California Indian people. And so one of the ways I thought to do that was the education system itself. And I found out that not only in the K through 12 system, in the college system, there was this perpetuation of this myth that Native Americans in California were no longer in existence. So today in this event has been one of those tools, one of those awesome events that push against that and try to educate and re-educate and to share the rich history of California. Before it was even California, it was Kosai, and it still is Kosai, as you heard earlier. And our people, we live and work and go to school right next to you. We are one community now. So we encourage you to visit the booths that talk about these buildings and areas and centers of knowledge that you can frequent and you can learn about California Indian history, which is the history of this area. I'm over here at the Rincon Cultural Research Department booth. They have a museum called Washkayam Pomki, and it is open to the public. And they have some traditional artifacts. They have animal prints and things like that that are important to our culture. So please stop by when you get a chance. There's also some Kauai history there having to do with my relative, Juan Antonio Costo. He was an acquaintance of Antonio Gara, who we're celebrating today. Juan Antonio Costo was a regional war chief of the Kauai people. He was a protector and lived from 1830 to 1860s. He was a chief negotiator with the United States and the Mexican government on behalf of the Kauai people and other tribes at that time who were being exterminated outright They were being cornered and pushed out of areas that would later become the cities of San Diego, cities of Los Angeles, cities of San Francisco. And so he tried to do the best he could in negotiating peace, negotiating friendship, and negotiating trade. And so Juan Antonio Costo, just like Antonio Gara, rose up and spoke for the people. And they knew what was coming. They knew that the United States would be annexing and calling this area California. They knew that there was a gold rush that was about to explode of people coming into this area. So they tried to negotiate peace, and they signed treaties with the United States. One of the most important ones was the Treaty of Temecula in 1852. And what that treaty signified was that Indian people would forever have a place in this new American society, this new state that was coming in, that they would forever be here on their homelands. That treaty was never ratified by Congress, and a result of that was the continual extermination and removal forcibly of our people. And then later, tiny reservations were created throughout San Diego County, Riverside and San Bernardino County, and throughout California. And we still live on those reservations today. And it's a struggle every day. It's a struggle to find opportunities, to work, to prosper and be successful. And despite all that, we are successful. We're still here. And so today is a celebration of that continual success, that intergenerational resistance. And so you're learning about us for the first time, many of you. But we're hoping that you will take this knowledge back with you. Take this knowledge to your family, your friends. Teach your kids that California Indian people are alive, are vibrant, culturally rich, and rich in history. Share what you learn here with them. We appreciate that. And so with that, I'd like to ask a couple of singers, some dancers to come up. I'm going to impart the Cahuilla bird songs. I'm going to sing some bird songs to you. These are our happy celebratory songs. These are the story, the history of our people's existence from the beginning of the creation of the world, of the earth, and the creation of the people. And then it talks about those people migrating around the world 3 times. So they came back to where they were created. And it was a good thing because the world was populated and all the living plants and animals had their place and their purpose. So, yeah. This is Mario Castellano with me. He's a member of the Los Coyotes band of Cahuilla Capeño. So we're gonna sing a couple songs and hope you enjoy.
I'm sorry about
Jezebel.
Am I allowed to record?
Yeah, this is in public. Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure. Thank you.